Hi, everybody. My name is Brent,
I'm Joe Buffalino.
and with the first month of the MLB season right around the corner, there are more questions than answers. And one of those questions is whether this New York Yankees team can actually compete for a World Series championship or not.
And right now, I think they still are. I know the slow start happening. The Yankee fans, like myself, aren't happy with it, but it's the first month. We got to realize that. I know they're going to bounce back. And trust me, we have guys like Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, even Stanton, Torres. They're going to bounce back, and we're gonna start firing on all cylinders pretty soon, in my opinion. Also, they're not fully healthy currently. Losing a guy like Luis Severino to the rotation kind of sucks, especially when the rotation is one of the big questions of the team right now. So, yeah, and then obviously when they do get fully healthy, I think they have one of the best offenses in the league. Just that sheer firepower in the lineup is just tough to match, and if everyone's on point, it's hard to beat them. They got their ace in Garrett Cole, definitely one of the best pitchers in the league, definitely top two in my opinion, with DeGrom being number one. I think best in the American League, Bo, by far. They got a decent mix of young and veteran players. You need that for championship teams because you need the experience as well as you need, young players so that you can just be competitive for multiple seasons in a row because that's obviously what the team wants to do, be competitive every year. And last, I would say is that they have a lack of competition from other American teams. Houston's usually more competitive at this point, like even at the beginning of the season. Even though Boston's up to a good start, I don't know if they'll keep it up. We can watch out for them. But other than that, I don't see too much competition in the American League. And one point I forgot to point out, they do have one of the better bullpens in the league. It's been saving them in a lot of games when their starters, besides Garrett Cole, really haven't been on point because Cole's, for the most part, been very solid for us. So that right there makes it, in my mind, still very faithful and to the team, and that they'll be World Series contenders this season.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on some things, like the lack of competition between the American League teams. Usually, you see teams like Houston and the Rays you brought up; they come out a little bit hotter. I really don't trust the A's or the Red Sox to keep it up. And there's a lot of young, up and coming teams that I'm not sure are ready to take that next step. Teams like Kansas City or Chicago, even the Mariners, in a sense. Garrett Cole, the second best pitcher in baseball, behind Jacob DeGrom, but he's still the best in the American League. It is April. I think when the weather gets nicer out, the bats will wake up too. It's early. You brought up the health issues. But at the end of the day, I still got to go with no. I don't think this team is a World Series contender this year, unfortunately. The offense is just too inconsistent for me. It's all strikeouts and all home runs. There's really no situational awareness. Their batting average at the time of this recording is the third lowest in Major League Baseball with a 210 average. They're third last in slugging with a 362 average. And their OPS, which is on base and slugging, is fifth to last with a 668 average. Before Corey Kluber's start yesterday with Baltimore, outside of Cole, the starting rotation is a huge question mark. It's always been a question mark for years now. The rest of the rotation outside of Cole before Kluber's start yesterday was 2-7 with a 5.61 ERA. And when it comes down to the playoffs and you're in a 5 or a 7 game series, that's just unacceptable. That's not going to get the job done. They're not a good defensive team either. They haven't been for a while, even though they have Gold Glove capable talents from Gio Urshela, Judge, and DJ. They're top 15 in the league right now with 13 errors on the year, and they're in bottom 10 in fielding percentage. We understand the type of player that Gleyber Torres is, and we know how good he can be and the potential that is still through the roof, but you have to question if he is a shortstop at this point, and it's been kind of a liability so far in the defensive general. Clint Frazier is struggling as a starting left fielder. The whole left fielder position has just been an automatic out to start the year. We just saw Mike Troutman get traded to the Giants, and again, Clint's struggling, and Brett Gardner should not be the answer in any way, shape, or form, as the starting left fielder. Again, I brought up the competition aspect earlier and agree with you, but again, teams like the White Sox, the Blue Jays, and even the Royals, while it might not be competing this year, they do seem to have a better future in place if they can get small increment details to fill out their roster. God forbid they have to play the Rays in the playoffs. They can't beat the Rays for some reason. We saw it last year, and we've seen it so far earlier in this year. Whether the Rays have a $60 million payroll or whatever, they try to outsmart the Rays, and they never do, and it always just ends up in a disaster. And at the end of the day, too, salary cap issues have kind of forced Cashman to put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound that can continue to plague this team for the future. Whether you like Giancarlo or you hate Giancarlo, personally, I love Giancarlo. But his contract, it's atrocious, and it's kind of hindered things that we could have done, maybe like signing Trevor Bauer or maybe making a move for Francisco Lindor. We're not trying to go over the 210 cap that they set. And with guys like him and Cole making as much money as they are, it was kind of hard to make moves to improve areas that we were weak in. As a Yankee fan, I really do hope that I'm wrong, though. I don't know. I just watched this team, and I'm not inspired. I just don't see a championship level team. And even if we were to get through the AL, we'd end up playing teams like the Dodgers or, maybe even the Padres. And I don't think that we're much better than them, truthfully. So I don't know. I see us, getting hot eventually and winning the division and, waiting to see what happens in the playoffs. But to win a championship, I'm just not sure that I really see it for this season.
Yeah, I understand. I can definitely understand those points, and to a certain degree, I can agree with them. But I think they'll pick it up. But we have to wrap things up right there. It's been a pleasure to do the show. Hopefully, the season gets a lot better for the team, and it's baseball. Anything can happen, man. So I'm Joe Buffalino signing off right here.
And I'm Brian Ulrich.
Have a good one.
Go Yankees.